Bail parole start order day is 1:15, Thursday, 16th February. My name is Brendan Kelsey, will be chair. Along with me is Ms. Cheryl Knox and Ms. Bonnie Jackson. Staff support seated at the DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge. Our remote location is Plaquemines Parish. With staff and support of Plaquemines, please introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Lieutenant Tenson, Plaquemines Parish Sheriff Department.
All right, Lieutenant, we're ready for our first case.
Yes, sir. I have Mr. Lee.
All right. We also have Ms. Emmett Lee, mother, and Peter Jones, godmother. At the appropriate time. All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Tyrez Lee, 714-600.
All right, Tyrez. My name is Brendan Kelsey. Along with Ms. Jackson and Ms. Renata will be your panel. I'll have a parole hearing for you today. Ask you some questions. You can respond at the end. You can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Tyrez Lee, DOC number 714600. You're a third class offender for eligibility date 10/14/2021. Good time 3/15/2026. Full term 12/27/2026 on an 8-year sentence. Possession of intent cocaine, legal use of a weapon, convicted felons. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Please answer, Mr. Renata.
All right, Mr. Lee, you've been through this process before. You appeared before a parole panel in July of 21.
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time you were denied. And I noticed on the decision, it said because you needed programs, you had law enforcement opposition, and you had a poor supervision history. So since July of 2021, what programs have you been able to take advantage of?
I've taken moral recognition therapy. I've taken cage of rage, and I've taken this carpentry class. I have my SCCR card.
Oh, good. So your conviction was for, of course, the firearms charges, very concerning. But you had the drug charge, possession as a habitual offender, possession with intent. What have you done about your drug use and abuse?
Well, I haven't been able to take any programs as far as substance abuse because they say that you have to be 2 years or under at this facility.
2 years or under? You
Yes.
didn't have the programs there? What kind of substance abuse program they have there? Do you know?
No, ma'am.
So what was your drug of choice? Was it just cocaine?
No, that wasn't how my drug of choice is use. I just smoke marijuana.
So why were you selling cocaine?
Well, for money.
Do you have any understanding of the impact you had on the people that you sold it to?
Yes, ma'am. I actually see every day on the news. I've noticed that, a lot of drug overdoses, and I see how selling drugs impacts the community and it also kills the people that you tend to love, and it destroys the community. I have noticed how drugs affect the community.
And it wasn't until you were in prison that you figured that out? Mr. Lee?
Pretty good. County.
Mr.
A little bit.
Lee?
Good. All right.
We lost Mr. Lee. Now we lost the board. And it is just us. Hey guys. So yeah, he got denied. It was just a few years ago. He's up for parole again. It seems that he's taken his programs. He got his, what was it, his carpentry card. That was cool. I always like seeing when they can get like a skill that you can go out and get a job. Like that's just seems to be so critical to me. Like otherwise you get out and then what? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, go try to get a job, making absolute minimum wage, and versus like learn how to be a carpenter or just like operate heavy machinery, or the different things that you can learn where it's a specialized skill where people will hire you even though you have a record because they need your specialized skill. Mechanics, all those different skills. It seems like a lot of it is just, it's based on luck. So depending what prison you're sent to, and then also I think depending on how many years you have, whether they'll let you apply to those programs. But they're going through the questions now, and you would just hope or think that like he would have figured out what's so funny? That he would figured out how to nail this interview. Do you think he's going to get paroled? I never know anymore when it comes to like habitual offenders and anything to do with drugs. You just don't know. But if they're a child molester, you probably say it's likely they'll get out, right? I know I'm being facetious, but here we go.
All right, we're having some technical difficulties at the facility. We're trying to get them to log back on. We're going to put you guys back in the waiting room and bring you back in as soon as we reconnect with them, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Stand by.
Thank you.
Okay, let's fast forward and then rewind. So here we go. What's so funny? I want to know what's so funny. You recognize him? You've seen him a bunch. The deputy.
I'll get back.
Did we make it back? Y'all froze up on us last time.
Yeah, we had a power surge that came throughout the building, so they knocked our internet and stuff out of line. So we're back up and running now. So Mr. Lee is right here.
All right. Lee. All right. I think we were in the middle of asking some questions, weren't we?
Yes.
We were resuming.
We talked to Mr. Lee about the programs that you've taken since your last hearing. And I was about, before we lost you, I was about to tell you about the opposition from the district attorney's office. There's strong opposition, and he believes, the DA's office believes that you need to complete a long-term substance abuse treatment program. And lacking that, you'd likely return to a criminal lifestyle. How do you feel about that statement?
I feel biased towards it because I know that
it's funny because I was gonna comment on this, but I was like, he's said he had to say that that he wasn't doing hard drugs because otherwise they would send him to a long-term facility. And then also I was like, where's the DA? The DA is for sure gonna be here. It's like, pretty, he's like a dealer, so the DA always shows up. But no, he couldn't make it, but he made sure to write a statement. They can't make sure to write statements for murderers or for child molesters, but they're always, it seems, always ready to be here or write a statement for these Schedule 2 and Schedule 1 distribution cases. But anyways, I digress.
I now understand the effect that drugs have on the community, and I never had the chance to actually sit down and look at how my drug dealing was affecting the community until now, by me being in jail.
You don't believe you could benefit from such a program?
I believe I can benefit from any program. Yes, ma'am, I do.
Well, I mean, if you don't want to do it, you're not going to participate, it's not going to do any good.
No, I will participate in any program because I know that any program will help me out, but I don't actually honestly feel like that I would need to do it because I know, I understand the effect that I have on the community if I go back to selling drugs or anything like that.
Are you currently enrolled in any programs? Did you tell me? I didn't make a note of it. What are you in now?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not currently enrolled in any programs. I'm enrolled in college right now. I'm actually in college, but I
Correspondence course?
Yeah, Ashland University.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You ever had a mental health evaluation?
Yes, ma'am.
And was there any diagnosis?
I think I did it in here. I think the only one I took was the Tiger assessment.
Oh, okay, yeah, but you've never seen like a social worker
No, ma'am.
on a regular basis?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, I don't have any questions.
All right. We're from Miss Tyrez Lee. Miss Lee, yeah, on mute.
Hi everyone. How
I
you
can
guys
hear you.
doing?
Good, go ahead.
I'm Tyrez's mother, Tyrez. I feel like that Tyrez has the ability to do what he needs to do to get out. Tyrez is a great kid. I know he had some inabilities in the prior years going now, but now I really truly feel and believe that he's learned his lesson, and I really feel and believe that he's going to do the right thing if you guys was to grant him parole today. He has a house to live in. He's going to be living with me. That's not going to be any problem, and he also has a job lined up, set up for him. And also, I'm going to make sure that he finishes college courses, which I know he's going to do that on his own also, but I'm just there for his, just to be there for him. And I really think he's going to do good if you guys just grant him parole today. I think he's really, really learned his lesson.
All right, thank you for your comment. Thank you so much. Okay. Keita Jones.
Hi, can you hear me?
Can.
Okay, perfect. My name is Makita. I am Tyrez's godmom. I've had a huge influence in his life throughout the years that I have been in their life. He has chosen to go down the right path. Of course, it's something that I did not agree with at that time. But seeing him over the last year, definitely, I've seen a big improvement in him overall. He's gotten closer to God. That's something that I really, do agree with him on. And I do appreciate that he did take my advice to do so. Just in general, just speaking to him, I can tell that he's now on a different mindset in his life. And I feel as if he's ready to be able to be a man now. He's, had trouble as a young man going through, but I don't want him to turn out to be what today's society of a young Black man is to be. So I've taken, my matters into effect to where I help him personally over to what I can over the phone. But when he is to be released and come home, we will have everything set up to him to continue to stay on the right path, whether we have to get continuing therapy for him to make sure that he stays in college, to get a good job for him, to be able to keep him on the correct path and not into where he's in that lane where he'll, be able to be badly influenced once again. But I do hope that you all can consider it, because I do believe that he's ready and he's realized, his rights from wrong at this point.
All right, thank you for your comment. Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
All right, Tyrez, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Say it.
I know that growing up and living in the community where I come from, you can easily be influenced, but I don't blame that on my decisions that I made in life. I blame myself because that I know that I could have made the right decisions. And I now understand that, living in that type of lifestyle can only lead you to two different outcomes in life that are inevitable. And that's either in prison forever or either dead. And those are two outcomes that I do not want for my life.
All right, thank you so much for your comment. Madam Clerk, vote.
Mr. Lee, you're a young man. You're a third felony offender. I like what you said about you finally come to the realization that you had on those who on your. I was a little disappointed and didn't really express substance abuse treatment program. I believe, and I'm so impressed with the support you have from your godmother and mother. You're very lucky in that regard. I'm glad that you're enrolled in college, National University. I think you're coming to the realization where you're turning a corner. I just benefit from additional programming prior to a week, particularly substance treatment. Today's not the day for me. I'm not ready based on our discussion. The opposition has been expressed. To deny the parole, but encourage you to don't let it set you back. Work, reapply.
All right. Jack.
All right, Julie, I agree that it's not that we have to do. I really have that really with if now you get to new life from a different perspective. Some more programming. I think you really need to take victim awareness. So even though you say you recognize some harm in the community, don't know that you really can fully grasp that. And so I'm going to encourage you to keep working. Don't get discouraged. The mark of whether you really reach is how you respond to a negative outcome. If you allow it to be an excuse to fall back and to not go forward, then that tells you yourself that you're not ready. But today my vote is to deny, but I am encouraged. I think we started the process of change, so I'm going to ask you to stay on that course.
But you have 2 votes to deny your parole. Look, I was impressed with what you said. I was impressed with the support you have. I would have voted today to grant your parole with some outpatient rehab. But you're right there close, man. You're real close. Keep your head up. Keep going. You next time the outcome might be different. You have 2 votes to deny, 1 to grant. Today your parole's been denied. Good luck to you. Okay,
Mr. Kelson, one thing.
Yeah.
Is there any way that you can help me get into these programs? Because this jail does not allow it if you got 2 years unless you're 2 years or less.
We're gonna put it on our notes. We're gonna make a note for them to override, put you in the classes.
All right, because they did it last time and then they still no classes.
I didn't do it last time, so we'll override it and get it done.
Yes, sir.
So we'll adjourn at 1:48. Thank you. I'll put it in my note. Yeah, no, I believe
Thank
it.
you.
That was sweet. She said, keep your chin up. He handled that well, man. I've seen people. I'd be pretty upset. It just it's such a broken system. They're like, well, you don't have those programs, so because of that, we're going to deny you, but you need to take more programs. He's like, well, they don't have the programs. He's like, because I can't take them because of my sentence, and and we're like, oh well, we'll put a note so you can take them. And he's like, well, you said you would do that last time, and you didn't. And he's like, Kelsey's like, well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me that said it. So this time we'll do it. And you know what? I think it's like maybe at best a coin flip. If I had to bet, either he's gonna put it in their notes. What's it? Oh, gosh, it's like you try to get something to work with YouTube. Like the feature set is really limited. It's like I'm trying to just pause it. I mean, in my opinion, he was likable, and it's like, he's been, was this his second parole hearing? Now he's gonna have to go for a third one. It's his third offense. He's been a dealer. He took all these programs. He couldn't take the program. He got a certificate. He's ready to go out there and start working. But no. You have to go take victim awareness, and you have to go take it's like, are you kidding me? What is a victim awareness class going to do for this guy? Like, really, he needs to sit in a classroom so that he can hear about other people talking, it's not going to make a difference. This is not, in my opinion, someone who the victim awareness class is going to make a difference in his life. It's not going to be the deciding factor of whether he's going to go back in the streets and start dealing or go back in the streets and work with the job skills that he has now. It's not going to make a difference. So it's all going to be about depending on how he interviewed. Is that what these parole hearings about? If he had come in here and just done the perfect act, it really hurts my community. It destroys the foundation of the community when I go out there and deal, and I'm making addicts, and it's just this rippling butterfly effect of broken homes and kids going hungry because their parents are out buying from me drugs. And, oh, wow, you really are aware of your victims. I'm going to parole you. What's it cost every year to keep someone locked up so that he can take more programs? The same way they have sex offender classes that they let child molesters take once they get out. Why don't you let him out, let him start working, and have him go to victim awareness classes outside the prison? What a thought. Oh, no. That won't work because the privatized prison system, they're not going to make enough money doing that. That's a problem. The assistant DA took the time to write a note and say, we got to keep this guy locked up. And they don't do that for murderers. We just had a hearing where there was someone who was up for parole after, I think, 22 years locked up for stabbing someone's daughter. What was it? 25, forget, 20 something times. And the mother was there alone. And the DA didn't show up. The DA didn't write a letter. Explain that to me. The Cisco case, the one that started this whole effect of my channel getting, 60 3 copyright strikes. I've lost track. I've actually lost track. The man went from death row to life imprisonment to paroled, and then they said, after there was major public outcry, they said they found contraband and they locked him back up, and then they struck my channel for showing that hearing. They struck just that hearing and some random hearing, just 2. And then when the news piece came out, they got, oh no, not the news piece, but then they waited like 3 or 4 days and they struck another 50. But they waited until Monday. But in that case, the DA didn't show up either. You know that. There was no DA. And the DA still had the audacity to make a public announcement and say, we are outraged that they let him out, but they didn't show up. They're playing games. And this channel exposes the good, the bad, and the ugly of our system. And there's plenty of good that's done. We see it. But there's sadly a lot more bad and a lot more ugly. With that, I'll let you go.